Hello, and welcome again to the Get It Done podcast, where it's about books, business, and branding for authors. I am your host, Ashley King, aka the Get It Done Queen, where I help people of faith tell their story by writing a book and maximizing their reach through speaking and events. I am so excited, y'all, because I have a dear friend that is on tonight. We actually I want to say never met until maybe within the past year, but I think we've been communicating via, social media and different things and email for, I don't know, like 3 years.
Yeah, it's been or longer, but at a minimum 3 years. Yes.
So around that time. And so I'm just excited to have her on the podcast. Yay! I want to introduce y'all to Neferteria Fonda. Like, oh my
gosh, hey! Yes, I am in the building.
Yes. So if you could, I want you to go ahead, introduce yourself to our listeners.
Okay, sure. So as you said, I am Nefateria Fonda, and I'm a parallel business and sales coach. And a parallelpreneur is a professional who's building a service-based business of their own while they are working. I help them get clear on who they serve and how they serve them, confident in their selling skills so they can bring cash into their business.
Yes. So tonight we're going to be talking about your book. Hopefully I have it there. I know the light is in there. Act, activate, faith, commit to plan, and take action that will change your life.
Yes. Yes.
I like the book. Definitely I've had it. I think it's number 5. Pray over your plans that I love, and for like be obedient. But I want you to go ahead, because I have it, I've been having it. I want you to go ahead and, talk to the audience about your book.
Okay, so sure. So when I decided to write a book, it was basically because I was in the coaching space and I wanted to be able to provide a tangible product to help my individuals that were going to be attached to me, follow me, look for me to serve them, to get to know me a little better by having something physically that they could have in their hand and refer back to. And faith is big in my business. So of course I wrote a book and I made it a simple, easy read where you can pick it up at any act principle and start reading it. You can read it on your way into work. If you just need a little inspiration or motivation, you can read it, if you just want to put something good into your thoughts, into your mind before going to bed at night. And so it's basically 18 act principles that's dealing with faith, dealing with finances, and as well as freedom of the freedom that entrepreneurship gives you. So I just took things that I liked, that I apply and think is relevant to apply for anyone that's in business, wants to start making sure that God is primary and over their life in every aspect, just not on Sundays at church, just not on Wednesday night during your prayer meeting or Bible study, but in everything from, should I wear my hair this way? Or should I collaborate with this business partner? Is this the right book cover? I want him to be in your business, not just give me a word for Sunday or give me, something to say to that particular individual that's in need.
Definitely. So, how I hear, it's clear that, God is very important in, your business. You're inviting him in. Now, how important, or how much would you say for the people that you work with that they, faith or God is a big principle in their business? And then I guess for those that may have a higher deeper relationship with God or their faith, do you see there a difference in their business from those that may come to you? Because I'm not quite sure if you don't work with those that are not of, significant faith per se. I just pretty much, is there a difference between the clients that you see that are heavy on their faith and those that are not? I hope did I ask that? Do you understand?
I do understand your question. And I try to ensure that God is at the forefront of my business and brand so that I do not have to work with individuals that don't believe the way I believe, which I believe in the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I don't believe in any other names. That is the name of Jesus and what I believe and call on. And so I ensure before somebody works with me, like if I do a discovery session, I let them know that is prevalent through all my brand. When we have our group coaching sessions or our private calls, I pray first. When I have my events, I'm praying first. So they have to be okay with that because I'm not changing it. And if they're not okay with that, you know, if they can't bow their heads or be quiet during that time, or, you know, or every time I reference God or I say, thank you, Holy Spirit, for the word, and they're like, don't use that, then we can't work together. That's a non-negotiable for me. So I'm sure there is a difference. I am just choosing, because it is my business, that I choose not to work with those individuals, even though the service that I provide may help them increase their clarity, increase their confidence, and increase their cash. But if Christ can't be first, then it's a no-go for me.
You know, I think that's very important in whatever you do. You know, me as a, you know, ghostwriter, editor, I tell people, make sure you interview people that you're going to be working with, to make sure that you align with them. You may have a good book, but, you know, maybe me and other, you know, personalities going to clash. And if you're looking for a coach, a consultant, someone that's, you know, is going to help you take your business to the next level, you want to make sure someone that you're going to bond with, you know, connect with, and help change your life.
Right. Absolutely.
And so, you know, getting back to the book, what would you say is your favorite, if you had to narrow it down? Or your top three, but, you know, your top three takeaways.
Very good question. Woo, there's so many. Okay. Well, we're going to start with keep God first, because that's just point blank, period. Right. So that's probably like a freebie on the bingo card. Right. So I couldn't name a favorite or pick one without saying keep God first.
Okay.
And like we talked about a little bit earlier, and that's in all aspects of your life. So I want you to invite him in every aspect. Do not just keep him on certain days, certain times. Invite him into everything. He wants to know what's going on. He wants a relationship.
Yes.
I would also say, I know I need to be quicker with this, right?
Good.
I say count the cost, I think, is another good one. In business, we definitely need to count the cost in every aspect. Count the cost in the terms of what we choose to spend our money on, but at the same time, count the cost on what we choose to spend our time, right? So sometimes we get to a place where we may take on certain clients because of revenue, but are they worth the time? You know, are they taxing? Are they making you bang your head against the wall when you're working with them? So I just say count the cost and everything. Don't be so quick to say yes to things. Make sure that you really take a look into what does that yes encounter? What does that yes mean? Because sometimes it's better to say no. So I would definitely say count the cost in all things, financially, as well as things that you may spend time on, energy in, commitments.
And I just want to make a comment on that, because I believe, I've been guilty of not counting the cost. And I want to say, definitely as an entrepreneur, and if God is at the forefront, I don't want money. I mean, of course we need money, all that type of stuff, but money should not be your motive. Like, you know, if you know this is not your ideal client and you are doing this solely for the money, you know, if you're a Christian-based business, and like for me, I don't do erotica. I stressed out, I did horror because the story was cancer was the monster. So it wasn't like, you know, Jason or Freddy Krueger type thing. They turned the story to make it like, you know, cancer was the monster. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Even though it's in the horror genre, but definitely, not erotica. So for me to take on an erotica project, because maybe it's going to offer me more than, you know, the prices I charge now, I think that's definitely not counting the cost, and definitely putting, you know, money before Christ, you know. And so as an entrepreneur, you want to make sure and be okay with saying no. If God is in the forefront of your business, then you need to be okay with saying, you know, hey, that's not for me right now. And I've actually had to do that maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago. One of my clients referred someone to me, but their book was erotica, and I was just like, that is not my forte. Sorry. And I know, you know, like it would have been good money, but I was like, that's not me. Like me doing that will push Christ out the equation of my business. I can't glorify God by doing that. So just as entrepreneurs, I just want y'all to keep, you know, get the book, but you know, that is a great principle And that is a great principle to remember, that, count the cost before you say yes to something. The money may be good, but if it's going to cost you your salvation, your peace,
Right.
your mind, all, it ain't worth it. So, sorry, go ahead.
Absolutely. No. And I will just select this last one. Trust yourself to decide. A lot of times when we get in business, we do invest in various coaches or things to improve our skill set or improve ourselves. And those are great. I definitely believe in continue to invest in yourself and growth. And you sometimes need to be the guru. So if your coach or the book is pushing down your throat that something is, it just don't feel right. It doesn't seem like that's the way your business is set up or the way that you want to grow your business. It does not mean that the way that they're suggesting will not grow your business, for instance, or grow you in that area. It just may not be the way that you need to do it for yourself. So that's when I say trust yourself to decide. So to bring it back to practical or business terms. So in business, you may hire a coach, and this particular coach believes in growing a business through digital products. But you may want to be like myself, want to work with people that provide a premium service for a high profile brand, and you don't want to currently build your business in a digital product space or with a lower end price product. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean I can't grow my business in the way that coach suggested. It's just that's not how I want to grow my business. So I need to probably apply the principles, but to the type of business model I want to build. In a more practical sense, you hire a personal trainer, and maybe they are die-hard weight training, right? But you are more like, give me more cardio, take their principle, still work out 3 times a day, but maybe you spend that 30 minutes instead of weight training and you do cardio or aerobics. So that's what I mean by trust yourself to decide. I'm not saying do not listen to anybody that you invested in, but if there is, for whatever reason, a clash, then trust yourself to make the right decision for your business or your life.
I think that's a great one. And I'm going to say for newbie authors, you're starting off entrepreneurship, that may be a little more challenging for them, because it's like, I don't know what to do. They're just kind of all over the place, and they're going to that expert, the coach or whatever. But yeah, there may be this little unction, maybe the Holy Spirit, trying to say something. And I mean, because I think we've all been there, but I could say I've been there. And it's kind of like, I don't want to ever say I've wasted money, but some people say, I took that loss, turned the loss into a lesson. It's a lesson. And me having those lessons actually built my confidence, because maybe in essence, you paid someone, this coach, and you may be like, well, I kind of already knew that, or, maybe I needed someone on another level. But that made, for me as an entrepreneur mindset, I think about, okay, if that's the information they're teaching and I pay X amount of dollars, could I not be doing the same? Or, because sometimes we lack that confidence. And then you go out here and meet other people, and it's like, they may not know half as much as you're doing, but they are out here killing it because they are promoting, they're confident. And so I think that is an excellent principle to definitely trust your inner self, that voice, especially if you are a person of Christ, you listen to God. There are some things that God be like, 30 days off social media. Hold on, God, I promote my business. But listen to him. There may be a reason why. I always God may be preparing you, for something, and he needs you to, get away from social media, listen to him. And God can just speak something, just one thing, and that one thing can exponentially grow your business. But it's important that and I'm preaching to myself right now, that we slow down to be able to listen to him, because I supposed to took a 3-day sabbatical probably in February, and we are in mid-July, and I literally scheduled it today in August, because you need that time with God as an entrepreneur, anybody, but especially as an entrepreneur, because I've been in that comparison syndrome, where you compare yourself to other business owners, you have the imposter syndrome, and I have to be mindful of that, because what's for me is for me. And I heard someone today say there is no competition. And I was like, wow, that is very powerful. Like, what God has for you is for you. There's no competition. Don't worry about the other person. It's you.
Right. Absolutely. And it's so true. because what God has for you is for you. One of my best girlfriends says you copyrighted by God. So at the end of the day, the way you do things and the way you, let's just be honest, there's nothing new under the sun, right? So there's a million business and sales coaches, there's a million, publishing companies, there's just a million whatever times two that do all that you do. But the way you do it, the way you communicate it, the way you deliver it is different. And just own that and just know there is enough people for you to serve the way you serve them. And those people are looking for you, and that they will come to you. And to go back to, like you said about new authors, they may hire, new author not knowing what to do. Just when you decide to maybe hire a person, that just determine what your goal is. Is your goal just to have a finished book? Then of course, look for somebody that will help you get the book done, right? Just like Ashley does. If you're looking for somebody you want to parlay that book into other things, whether it's coaching, speaking, or other type of platforms, then hire someone, Ashley, that may be something that Ashley helps you parlay to do, take your book and help you get more speaking engagements or parlay into events. Then, you need to work with Ashley over somebody that may just help you get the product in your hand. Maybe there's one person that's a book coach that only helps you produce the book, and that's all that they do. But you know that you just don't want a book just to have the sake for having a book. And it's okay if that is your goal, but your goal is to have a book and then to speak. Then find a coach or consultant or whomever you need to find, mentor that does that thing, that produces books and help you parlay that into speaking. So true. then there isn't the clash. But say before you heard this podcast, you invested in somebody that only helped you get your book done. Learn all that you can learn from that individual, get the book done, and then find the next resource to take you to the next step. Don't discredit what you invested in. Get all that you came to get from that, and ensure at the end that whatever you signed up for to get, you get.
Yes.
And move on and be thankful.
Yes. And I tell people when they come to me, for editing service, definitely shop around. Like, I know I am not the cheapest editor per se, but I know as far as my branding, like when I help people self-publish, I do customized video of their particular back office on KDP. If it's their website, like I show them how to do it. So it's not just, oh, well, your book is up there. It's no, I want you, as you've dealt with me, to be educated, informed on how to do this yourself. Like, and technically when you release the book, you are a self-publisher. I'm educating you so you can have these videos, watch them on replay. But I know that is me and my branding. And it took some time to get there, to be okay, to be like, you know what, I am confident who I am, what I charge, and what I do, because I know my lane. And so that is good. Like, if maybe you made a mistake in the past and you got, a wrong coach, or maybe you didn't ask the right questions, learn from that lesson and move on to just do better.
Absolutely. Because it's always something you can learn from when you've invested in someone and they did not, what they delivered is not what you understood you was purchasing, let's just say. That you may have built your network with the group, the community that's also in that program with you, that, that's those connections. You've gotten some behind the scenes to see how to not do things or how to do things. So just like in anything else, just chew the meat, spit out the bones. Take the good from the lesson, and don't live in the part that was not what you anticipated or what you were sold on. Because we've all been there. I've been there, and so it's not a good place to be. But like anything else, you have to see it. Take a different perspective to it. Okay, this is what I'm get. This is the amount of time I have. Then I'm going to get all that I can get from this time, and I'm gonna develop these relationships I met in this program, or whatever that looks like. And just make sure that you learn. And then when you offer something, you'll know also, okay, I didn't like how that felt to me. Let me make sure that people are understanding what they're investing in and what is going to be the result, so that there's no miscommunication, not reading between the lines, none of that. This is what you're going to get at the end. If that's not what you're looking for, maybe I have somebody I can refer you to, or maybe I have some kind of other product that can produce the result you're looking for. But if you do this program, this is the result. And if that's not what you need, I understand.
Yes. Make sure you ask the questions, okay? What
is
the result?
Absolutely. What do I walk away getting?
Yes, that should be your question. What is the end result? What do I walk away getting? And I want to talk about this principle that I like here is, I think, number 16, face everything and rise. And I think that just, facing your fear. And I'm not even gonna lie, like I recently had like a nervousness, a fear, that I was
Right.
like, just get over it. Like my business is going, so I think we're in the first full month. So probably about 3 months ago, I was looking for
Uh-huh.
interns. And so I'm just like, I went through this whole thing where I was like, oh my gosh, like, am I really going to be able, train them, have them working, are they, I just went through this whole imposter syndrome, just like, just being nervous because it's different when it's just you walking in your own lane. Now it's like you have people looking up to you and they're
Right.
like, okay, what's next? What I need to do. And it's like, it's going to keep, push you, keep you on your toes, especially when you start hiring people. Because it's,
Mm-hmm.
when it's just you, if you don't feel like doing it, you be like, well, I might go to sleep. But
Right.
now you have people counting and counting on you, and it's going to push you to another level. And I'm seeing that, and it's just like, okay, now when you're starting to grow, you get confident in who you are and what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
it pushes you to another level. So facing your fear, I guess, gives you that backbone. And I don't care how small or how big it is, you have to face your Goliath. Like I think the very beginning, pray over it, whatever the situation is, pray over it.
Right.
Make sure one is of God, that's something you need to be doing, and then go
Mm-hmm.
forth with faith and leave fear behind. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's just it. So I think newbie, veterans, whatever, we've all dealt with that imposter syndrome in
Mm-hmm.
various stages of our business because it's a new level. And as you grow, you want to make sure you're confident, or that
Right.
you're capable of doing what you're about to put yourself into. So because I get, that question all the time, especially as, I don't know, with you, someone that's new, is like the whole parapreneur,
Parallelpreneur. Uh-huh.
parapreneur. And it's like, okay, well, I'm working my 9 to 5. I want to start my business. And it's just like, some people may say, when do I take that leap of faith? Or how do I make the time? It's just like, well, if you're passionate about it, you're going to get it done. Now, as your coach, I'm here to, help guide you, different things
Right.
like that. But I guess since we're on that, explain, the process, what it would be like to work with you. Those that are listening, perhaps you are, working a 9 to 5 and there is a business that you want to start, explain to us, kind of briefly, what the process would look like to work with you.
Okay, so what the process will look like, everybody has to apply. And that is for the sake of both parties, not just for me, but for them as well. One, to ensure that they're ready to work with me. Two, also, if they do happen to get on a discovery session with me, let's see if we vibe. That whole, are you okay that I'm a God's girl and I'm going to pray? Are you okay with that? Right? If God gives me something to tell you, I'm going to tell you. Are you going to be okay with that? Are you going to be okay with the fact that I'm very direct and firm and I will push you like a drill sergeant, because I am ex-military, but not to the point that I'm gonna belittle you, but push you beyond your fears, push you where you don't think you can go, but support you along the way. Are you okay with that? Like, I'm gonna give you that kick in the butt. And if you're a person that needs to be handled with, as my brother would say, kitten pawed or kitten mitten paws, whatever, then I am not the coach for you, because I'm not. I'm gonna be in your face and I'm like, what's going on? Why you ain't getting what you need to get done?
Mm-hmm.
Done. Based on what you tell me your goal is. So they apply to work with me, and then we work I have a group program called Clarity to Cash Blueprint, and that's a 90-day program where they get weekly access to me, also with weekly modules. And it's gives them that foundation. They're getting clear on who they serve, how they serve them, their packaging, their pricing, lead, how they're going to get their lead generation, teaching them selling verbally as well as closing on discovery sessions, following up, and also the words on their website, and also getting them basic systems in place. Because as a parallelpreneur, one of the struggles is time. So we got to have systems in place, because you cannot respond to every, I need to get on your calendar, and that whole back and forth and all that. You need a calendar in place. You need a payment gateway. You need all certain systems in place, because you are allocated 40 hours a week at minimum somewhere else. So that is the thing. As far as the leap, I definitely think that is a personal decision. I definitely think you need to pray about that and trust God for that. But I definitely help you make sure that if you and God decide that you do need to take that leap, that you leap into a nice cloud and not off a cliff, which some of us did. That you have a nice landing, because you have all the things in place, and you basically you're leaping into a well-oiled machine, because you took in the time to get those systems in place. and things in place, and you're not figuring it out after you took the leap. It's like you took the leap and you're falling. Now you're figuring out, how do I fly, or how do I open a parachute? No, we're going to get it all in place. So when you do take that leap, you know exactly what cord to pull to make the parachute open. You know exactly how to land so you don't break anything, all those good things.
Yes. I'm going to say it's very important to have a plan in place. And I'm going to say this because I know God had did it for a friend. God had called her off her job and started a business, and so blah, blah, blah. So she's been doing good. So of course it's probably like, 3-4 years. I'm still, she done left a job. I'm still working. So I was like, why God don't call me off mine? Like, I'm ready. So that was literally probably, I guess, 11 years ago. Probably even a little longer that she's left her job. She hasn't went back doing stuff. And so literally last year, God called me off my job. But in all honesty, he called me off my job 3 years ago. And I was like, okay, I put in my notice, but they offered me a different position, which I had a weekend job. I started going to church. So I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Hey.
Right.
And somebody came up to me like, that ain't what God said to do. He said, quit your job. So literally I had 2 separate people give me the time frame, and they don't even know each other. Like 2 separate people gave me the exact date that I should leave my job. So I was like, okay. So June 28th, 2020 was my last day at my job. I didn't have a plan because literally I got promoted on a Friday. Saturday, I got the second confirmation, which was probably like 3 months apart from the person who gave it to me at first. Sunday, I put in a 4-week notice. So I really didn't have a plan. Me and my husband together, we probably made about 6 figures in our income. And to have cut that in half, it was a shocker. And so have a plan. Like mine was literally like jumping out, but it was like trusting God. And I know sometimes looking at the other person in their life, you don't know the behind the scenes, because when they see you, maybe they done been crying for about 3 days. You done called me off my job. Like, what I'm about to do? I'm about to go crazy. And then after that, had them 3 days, trying to speak about my experience. And it's like, you know what, God, I'm just going to trust you. So you done caught me on a good day, but you ain't catch me them 3 days. I was in my room crying, wondering how this going to make it happen. And so it's been, I guess, 13 months, a year and a month later, God has been providing, but that is not everyone's story. And so, yes, but have a plan to take that leap, and trust me, it works out, because if you're smart about it, it can last. I mean, definitely trust God if he calls you, blah blah blah, but what someone does ain't always your path in life. Okay.
So, absolutely. And I'm in agreement with you, because I took the leap, not necessarily. I had a plan in sense of getting ourselves financially in a situation where my husband wouldn't feel the second income not present anymore. However, I didn't necessarily have the plan for what the business is going to happen. In my head, I'm just like, oh, I got all this time now. Like before, it was like, oh, I can't do this, or I can't do this, or I'm missing out on this because I don't have the time. So in my head, now I got 40 hours. It's going to be like boom, 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 boom. No, the devil is a lie. That is not the truth. So I definitely don't advocate and tell people, leave your soul-sucking corporate job. I don't do any of that, because I definitely think it's a personal decision. One, I definitely think you need to seek God. Two, it's a personal decision, because I don't know your financial situation. I don't know what you're responsible for financially, kids, loved ones, any of that thing. So I can't say that's what you need to do, but I want to help you have that choice if you and God decide that's what you need to do. Yeah. And have yourself set up. So me and Ashley both took the leap, and our landing has been, a lot of prayer and crying, and Lord, are you sure? What in the world, Jesus? Did I really hear from you? We've done that, so you don't have to. So let us help you put that plan in place.
That is so true. Learn from people. My thing is wisdom. You don't have to go through that experience to learn. Learn from others. Learn from those that been there, so you could be smart. But one of the things I love about Acts is actually has the journal notes. Yes. So after go through the lesson, you could definitely, I think they have reflective questions here. So once you get done, then there are some questions or some thought-provoking comment statements, etc. But then
Right.
have your journaling notes, which I think is very good. As I don't know, entrepreneur or just through life, how important is like journaling to you?
That's a good question. At, to be honest, at first I couldn't get on board with the way people advertise journaling, with
Mhm.
with the prompts and all of that, and me learning about the term journaling was from people that believe a little differently, right? Me, I've always, well, always is a strong word, but I have always, I would say, not all, I won't say always, but for a good majority of my life, have written letters to God or talked to God through paper.
Yes.
So if you will look at my journal, you will see, Dear Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Oh, look here, homeboy, this right here. Like, I literally write him letters of what's going on. What do you think I should do about this? I'm praying for this person. I'm praying for this. Greg hurt my feelings. Greg's my husband. He hurt my feelings. My mama got him. Like, whatever is going on, what Neff calls journaling is letters that I write to God because it helps me get it all out. I do pray as well, and there's nothing wrong with prayer. But if I get in a good prayer, I go into my prayer language, and then God knows what's going on. So, in order for me to get out, in a sense, full sentences and really clearly communicate as if I was, he was sitting across the room from me, if you will, I literally write letters, if you will, and it's journaling in a sense, but just how I look at it. It's not like I have in my what I journal where I write God in there that says, okay, some type of prompt. It's
Yeah.
no prompt. It's literally, Dear Jesus, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, I love you. Please forgive me. Da, 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 da. This is what's going on. This is what happened today. All that kind of thing. And as far as me, it's definitely important. I think it's important because sometimes you have so much in your head and you need a way to release it. And sometimes I need to release it to God in a way that I'm casting the care and waiting on an answer. Because if I keep it up here, Neff and her smart self want to try to figure it out.
Yeah.
But if I go and write it and say, okay, Lord, this is the problem, and it don't have to be that structured.
Yeah.
Let me know what the answer is. Either I get an answer that day, I get an answer later, or whatever, but it's out of here. And I play games with myself, right or wrong. I'd be like, you know what? It's on the CEO's desk. When he gives it back to me, I'll deal with it.
Okay.
Just because I have to learn how to release control. That's one of my things I'm working on.
Yes.
And I have to learn to trust God in all things, and that he will lead and guide me and direct my path, and not rely on my smarts, my education, or my experience.
Yes.
I need to truly rely on him, because I can't go wrong if I do that. If I rely on my stuff, it's filtered through a lot of different stuff, right? And I could get it so wrong. So it's extreme, but it works for Neff. So journaling, however it works for you, prompts, letters of God, whatever you got to call it, definitely get it out of your head and get it on paper.
Yeah.
And for me, it's very important to get it out of my head and give it to God. And then I do that in a way of letters to God journaling.
Yeah. I think journaling is different from everyone. Like I have a journal for prompts, and I guess it was a season in which I would do that because, I don't know, like writer's block, something like that, can kind of help when they have those prompts. But I'm more like you. I just kind of write. Well, I'm always writing, doing something. So to me, to kind of have to sit down and journal in essence of, writing, I don't say writing your feelings and stuff. I feel like that's a task. Cause I'm the one, I talk to God like, humble. Look, Jesus, like,
Yes.
Lord, fix it. Like
Right.
I'll talk to him, prayer and all that. But I am more like a writing because my mind is business and all that. Yes, I do need to write that down. And if there is a problem, write it down so it doesn't stay in there. And I don't know, I've went through seasons where I could not go to sleep until I wrote whatever it is that was in my head down, because I felt like I'm going to forget about it or whatever. So I think journaling works differently for everyone. But one of the things I do appreciate is the ability to go back and see where you were 3 months
Mm-hmm.
ago, 6 months, a year ago, to see if there
Right.
has been any progression or growth. Because this time I went back to journals, or diaries, I should say, from
Yeah.
middle school to
Yeah.
high school, and be like,
Yeah.
girl, you were so stupid then. Like, you were just naive, but I thank God for growth. And then I even
Right.
saw my journal like in, I think it was sixth grade. I was looking to start a
Wow.
business. And so I'm just like, wow, I've always had that entrepreneur mindset at a young age. So journaling works different from everyone, journal, prayer, whatever it is that you need to do to act.
That's it. That's it.
You need to do to act. So I
Right.
want to, is there any other thing like takeaways? Because I mean, we have like the actual lesson, the questions, the journal. I mean, is there like any final words as far as, what was the question we said? If I were to purchase your book, what is the takeaway from after reading this book?
Good. 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 So, if you was to purchase this book, How to Act, Activate Your Faith, Commit to Your Plan, and Take Action that will change your life, what I want you to walk away with is a stronger relationship with God. That's what I want you to walk away with. I want you to release the thoughts of that he's so big and untouchable. I want you to know it doesn't take a lot to start to build a relationship with God and to continue to develop that relationship. So you'll see in my book, it's a simple read. The ACT principles are not that long. I'm giving you some action steps so you can journal. Like, you don't even have to walk away from the book because I give you everything right there. If you do not know how to pray, I give you a very simple prayer. It could just be simple like, God, I ask you for X. Lord, I thank you for X. In Jesus Christ's name, I pray, amen. So your walk away is to start to develop a relationship with God. No matter how long it's been since you talked to him, no matter how elevated you are in the church, to start a relationship with him that goes deeper than the surface that we do on our selective worship days.
Oh, awesome. So to tie it in as far as our podcast, as far as, business or branding,
Okay.
what in publishing this book, what is something that is there anything that you would have done, differently? Or what was the hardest things about publishing your book?
Great question. So, what would I have done differently?
If there's anything.
I would say this is what I would have done differently. As I told you in the beginning, my goal was to get something that was lower in price in your hand to help you to get to know me better. What I would have done differently now is to ensure that I utilize the book to catapult me into the other things I eventually wanted to do. I created the book as a one thing, not necessarily attached to other things. Mm-hmm. And so, some people write a book and then they make a coaching program and all that, but I put everything in the book. Like, I gave you journal, I gave you prompts, if you will. I gave you action steps. I gave you places to take notes. Like, I put it in a book at a lower end cost. So, and that was my journey. And I would say for any people that's looking to publish a book, think beyond the book in your hands.
Yes, Lord.
Think beyond that. And for everyone, it's not a business. It's just, hey, my mom taught me so much. I want to do a memoir to her. And that's all it's about. And you want to sell it to friends and family or give it to be inspiration to kids that don't have the same type of mother that you had that gave you all this good motivation. It could totally be that. But think it completely through before you invest in time in writing and publish it and what it is that you want it to be.
Yes.
Yeah. That will be what I would say to a newbie. Fully think out what the book is going to be for you.
Thank you. I think that wise words. I love you say think beyond the book. That is something that I had, say because as a self-publisher, you have to realize that's a business. Now, like you said, if your goal is just to publish this memoir about your mom, because this life lesson, that's great. But otherwise, I'm be honest, you can't make a living off of one book. And that's something else that, as far as if you want to make an income with as far as in publishing, you need multiple books, and I'm pretty sure there's different things that a parallelepreneur needs to be aware of as well. So definitely, where can people purchase your book?
They can purchase ah. They can purchase it on Amazon.com, and they also can purchase it from me at bit.ly/book with Nef.
Okay, book with Nef. Nef.
Yes.
All right, and if you can't, share your website, your social media. How can someone listening to this podcast get in contact with you, especially if they're in need of your services?
Okay. On social media, all places at Neferteria Fonda. Neferteria is spelled Nef as in faith, Ateria. Fonda is F as in faith, ON, D as in Delta, A as in Apple. All things Neferteria Fonda. Website is www.neferteriafonda.com as well. If you're like, hey, I want to learn more about working with you and you want a discovery session, then go to bit.ly/book with Nef.
Awesome sauce. Well, definitely, I want to thank you so much for tuning in, y'all, and for being on the Get It Done podcast.
Thank you. Had a good time.